Hello, and welcome back to English for Your Day podcast, where we explore fun and effective ways to bring English into your everyday life. I'm your host, Lily, and I'm so excited to welcome back our wonderful guest, Miss Sofia.
It's lovely to be back, Lily. Always a pleasure to chat with you and your listeners.
We're thrilled to have you, Miss Sofia. Today, we're focusing on something that I know a lot of our busy listeners will appreciate: passive English learning. It's all about maximizing your time and making progress without even realizing you're studying.
Exactly, Lily. Life can get so hectic, and sometimes it feels impossible to carve out time for dedicated study. But with passive learning, you can actually improve your English while going about your day. It's like magic.
It truly is. Now, for those who are new to this idea, could you explain what passive English learning is all about?
Of course. Think of it this way: instead of sitting down with a textbook and focusing intensely, you're simply surrounding yourself with the English language and letting it seep in naturally. It's like how a sponge absorbs water, effortless and natural.
I love that analogy. So, what would you say are the biggest advantages of learning this way?
Well, first and foremost, it's incredibly efficient. You can make progress without having to set aside huge chunks of time. Those little moments that we often waste, like waiting for the bus or doing the dishes, can all be transformed into valuable learning opportunities.
That's a game changer for people with busy schedules.
Really is. Plus, passive learning is a much more relaxed and enjoyable way to learn. There's no pressure to perform or meet deadlines. You're simply immersing yourself in the language and allowing yourself to absorb it at your own pace.
It takes the stress out of learning, which I think is so important.
Absolutely. And it's a great way to enhance both your listening comprehension and pronunciation. By constantly hearing English spoken naturally, you start to pick up on the nuances of the language, the rhythm, the intonation, the way native speakers pronounce different sounds.
That's so beneficial, especially for people who want to improve their speaking confidence.
Definitely. And another fantastic benefit is vocabulary expansion. When you encounter new words in context through songs, movies, or podcasts, they're much easier to remember and understand.
It's like you're learning without even realizing it.
Precisely. And over time, this kind of exposure really helps to strengthen your English reflexes. You'll find yourself thinking and responding in English more naturally, which is a key step towards fluency.
This all sounds amazing. So, how can our listeners practically incorporate passive learning into their lives? What are some creative strategies they can try?
There are so many possibilities. One of my favorite ways is to make the most of my commute. Instead of zoning out or scrolling through social media, I pop in my earphones and listen to engaging English podcasts. There are podcasts on literally every topic imaginable, so you're bound to find something that sparks your interest.
I'm a big podcast fan myself. It's like having a conversation with interesting people while you're on the go.
It is. And if you prefer a good story, audiobooks are a fantastic option. You can lose yourself in a captivating novel while doing the dishes, folding laundry, or going for a walk.
And of course, we can't forget about music.
Absolutely. Music is such a powerful tool for language learning. Pay attention to the lyrics, sing along, and try to understand the meaning behind the words. It's a fun and effective way to improve your pronunciation and vocabulary.
Those are great ideas for when you're out and about. But what about when you're at home?
Well, even those everyday tasks can become learning opportunities. While you're cooking dinner or tidying up, why not have an English podcast or audiobook playing in the background?
I love that. It's a way to multitask and make those mundane chores more enjoyable.
Exactly. And if you're looking for something a bit more visual, try watching English reality shows or documentaries. Choose shows that are related to your hobbies or interests: cooking, home improvement, travel, anything really.
That's a brilliant idea. I've never thought of it that way.
It's all about finding creative ways to immerse yourself in the language. And speaking of immersion, why not switch your devices to English? Change the language settings on your phone, computer, and social media accounts. It's a simple change that can make a big difference.
It's like surrounding yourself with the language 24/7.
Exactly. And of course, watching movies and TV shows in English is a classic for a reason. Start with subtitles if you need them, but try to gradually wean yourself off as your comprehension improves.
It's a fantastic way to get used to different accents and learn about different cultures.
It is. And don't forget about the power of reading. Find English books, magazines, or blogs that you enjoy, and make it a habit to read regularly.
There's something out there for everyone, no matter what your interests are.
Definitely. And one final tip that I find really helpful is to try thinking in English throughout the day. Narrate your actions, have conversations with yourself in your head, and try to form your thoughts in English.
That's a great way to internalize the language and build your fluency.
Really is. But remember, it's important to choose materials that are appropriate for your level. Don't feel pressured to jump into complex novels or fast-paced podcasts if you're just starting out. Start with something you can comfortably understand and enjoy, and gradually work your way up.
That's great advice. And I imagine it's also important to be patient and consistent with this approach.
Absolutely. Passive learning is not a quick fix. It's about gradual, consistent exposure over time. The key is to make it a habit, to integrate it into your daily routine, and to enjoy the journey.
And don't be afraid to experiment and find what works best for you.
Exactly. Try different things, explore different resources, and see what resonates with you. The beauty of passive learning is that it's incredibly flexible and adaptable.
This has been so inspiring, Miss Sophia. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and passion for language learning with us.
My pleasure, Lily. It's always wonderful to connect with fellow language enthusiasts.
So, to wrap up, let's recap those fantastic passive learning strategies. First, make your commute more productive by tuning into English podcasts or getting lost in an audiobook. Second, turn those everyday chores into learning opportunities with English music, reality shows, or documentaries playing in the background. Third, create an immersive English environment by switching your devices to English and enjoying movies, TV shows, and books. And finally, don't forget the power of thinking in English throughout your day. And to our listeners, thank you for joining us today. We hope you feel empowered to incorporate passive learning into your lives and unlock your English potential. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. Until next time, happy learning!